Hi everyone. How are you? Just to give you an update, I've given a couple updates. I'm going to try and become a little bit more consistent with my videos because I actually wanted to talk about different topics related to more in the environmental and sort of theory, pedagogy, teaching realm of things. And I also don't want to be limited to some of the topics that I talk about. But there's a lot of different things that I come across each day, and it's pretty ridiculous, and some of it is pretty actually interesting. And it would be interesting to hear some of your feedback and insight, just as part of it, as part of engaging the global community out there. And one of the things that I was just questioning today was, where exactly does this news stuff come from? Because you know what, I see like absolutely great stuff in like environmental work, and just absolutely terrible things in sort of the environmental sector. But you don't even see any of this news in sort of the mainstream cycle. So what exactly is this mainstream news thing? So it was just really interesting. I'd like to hear from you with respect to your perceptions about sort of this news. What exactly is news, and how can we actually contribute to news? Because I noticed too that I was just looking at different networks and stuff. Like I don't even watch TV, but I do read a lot of books and like to get out and about in the outdoors and whatnot. And I noticed that you don't even have a lot of the intellectual diversity in a lot of these sort of called mainstream news cycles. I don't know if you can even call it that. And I do support a balance between publicly owned news and privately owned news. Like there has to be some, some competition, but it has to be fair. And I shouldn't say competition, but stimulation, right? And there has to be a diversity of stuff, but I find that there isn't a lot of this diversity when it comes to like news. Like I look at the broadcasters, I see a lot of similarities. I even look into the thinking behind sort of their perceptions or their positions to whatever issue they're talking about. There is no diversity. So even though you have you have different people of color, you still have the same thinking. So that's not diversity. And I was just looking at a couple networks in Canada, and I haven't really explored like the US stream. And I'm just really starting to question, like, what is this news thing really? Because, it's really sad to hear about like tragedies and violence and, all these like very pathological things. But why don't we actually hear about good things? And I also notice that the news is very racialized, where you have like, things associated to sort of this whiteness culture, where you have a lot of their interests sort of promoted. So there's a whole psychology behind that. And then you have like people of color, even issues related to poverty. You have it somehow, thrown under some kind of woodwork or something. And you should really be engaging with the gaps in order to educate the public, because I do see media as a form of education. Some people are just not interested in sort of pursuing different avenues. Some people don't even know about these different avenues, which is not right. And if we live in like a civil society, then why do we have like these differential types of experiences, right? And we also live in a global community, so there's no such thing as borders, and I don't know where all this stuff about hate comes from, but I'm just trying to explore a lot of these topics and arenas related to how do you actually collaborate on sort of these problems, right? And my question for you is, how do you actually collaborate in different trade regions around news that is more relevant or more reflective of the diversity of thinking and the face and social experience of the global community, if I could say it like that? I just find the news is it's very shameful, and it's not very educational at all. I find that it actually provokes a lot of reaction, and it's nice when you can actually engage with something where you have some stimulation of thinking, but what kind of thing are you stimulating here when you're actually informing people about matters that may not look at sort of, but that may not even encourage the person to think for themselves. So um, I'm just wondered about this media thing. So, anyways, I am going to keep practicing these videos, filming. Um, I'm not really into sort of the superficial, look like something that I'm not, and just talk garbage and read from a script. Like, talk yourself. Like, bring what is inside of you out here, and that's sort of the position that I take. So, I'd like to hear your feedback, and have a good one.